right, Brian Particelli from toofab.com here. How you doing today, Meryl?
I'm good. How are you? Who are those people behind you, Brian?
Right? They're looking pretty good back there. I am a big fan of this show. I can't wait for this next season. But for you, just, the Revolutionary War, finally here. It's been building up to it for a bit now. I can only imagine how it's going to fracture things going forward, but just how massive of an undertaking is it to stage such a momentous point in history?
It's pretty massive. And I mean, we have quite a few battles this season. So it was tough, but we talked to all the directors about this idea of each battle had to be through a character's point of view. And
Mm.
actually one of our directors who did the Saratoga stuff, had mentioned this concept of like, we'll see it through so and so's POV, and then the other battle will be through someone else's. And to me, that's such a great way of looking at these battles because, certain battles it's hard to film in totality. They're very huge. They take a huge amount of extras. It's very tough. And sometimes you get lost in the weeds, so to speak. And for me as a viewer, to be able to see it and witness it through a personal perspective grounds it in a way that I think personalizes it, and this season makes it so much more emotional.
And how is it, kind of shifting focus away from, Jamie Claire for some of these and putting it on some characters that maybe haven't gotten the spotlight as much?
Yeah, no, and that's what was so exciting this season because we have so many different storylines, and they all come back to Jamie and Claire eventually.
Of
But
course.
but I was so excited to see how all the storylines kind of stood on their own, and we have a lot of new characters this season, and you never know how that's going to work. And I was so excited to see that they all kind of held their own, and we got some really exciting stuff with Charles and his character William and the Hunters and Buck and Rob Cameron and all of these new characters.
And now I know you talked a little bit about this at ATX, but similar to Game of Thrones, this show is going to end before the book
Yeah.
series does. And I know you said you didn't want to step on what Diana already has planned, which you know about.
Yeah.
So, does that mean there's a little more freedom in how you wrap this show up? And are there different pressures that maybe come along with that?
I mean, the pressure is that we're going to have to kind of end it in a different way that's also satisfying. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
She was the only one who can end it in the real way. And I don't know what she's going to do. I don't know if she's going to kill off a character. I don't know how she's going to do that. But I feel pressure because I'm a huge fan of the books and I want to leave us in a place where it's satisfying. But I also selfishly am like, do we want to leave it open ended? Could we do a movie? Could something else happen? So it's hard. And as I said at that panel, like season finales or series finales, I mean, they don't always go well.
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
tricky.
obviously Seinfeld got so much flack, Sopranos, it's a lot of pressure. There aren't as many examples of shows that really did it right and stuck the landing. So yes,
Mm.
do I feel the pressure? Yes.
And hopefully if you do keep it open, movies would be great, especially coming from a
Exactly. Right.
fan. I'd love to see
Yeah,
that.
exactly. But I'll put that pressure on Matthew B. Roberts, our showrunner's broad shoulders.
And I know you're also going to be working on the prequel series
Yes.
as well. Just what were the conversations like about that and deciding on who to focus on? I mean,
Yeah.
there
Well,
had
I
to have been a
mean,
ton of ideas.
we already knew it would be about Jamie's parents. So,
Okay.
and Diana hasn't written that book yet, but she kind of left little breadcrumbs along the way, little Hansel Gretel breadcrumbs. So that's been really exciting. And I think for Matt, who's showrunning that series as well, it's been kind of a cool exercise in we know this world, but we don't have the material anymore. And okay, what ways are we going to take it? And it's really fresh and exciting, but also being able to see what we're calling um our characters from obviously the past, the Dougals, the Murtaughs, people like
Yep.
that. It's exciting to see them as a younger age. So I know it's really exciting.
And lastly, another exciting thing is Katrina said she's going to be directing next season.
Yeah.
Just how much are you looking forward to that?
I am, Matt and I had a lot of conversations with her about directing, and she's talked to us a lot over the years of wanting to do that, and we had her directing second unit this season
Yep.
because we were like, let's get some experience under your belt, and I was so excited for her, and also You never know how someone's going to come into something like that. And she came in with so much enthusiasm and did so much prep and there was so much palpable excitement on the set when she was there from her, that I'm just excited for her. And I think everyone on the crew is really rooting for her.
Great. Well, thank you so much for your time. Can't wait for the
Thank you,
season.
Brian.
Have a good one.
You too.